There will now be a moment of silent prayer and meditation. May we be seated? Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. I am not sure why my assistant sergeant of arms are not calling for order, but they say, Madam Speaker, when I come in. Now, when they are supposed to assist Madam Speaker, they are all quiet. You see? Doing very well. Thank you very much, honorable members. And I am worried that our member of parliament who is very loyal to be in this house from the executive is sitting on the second row. I don't know who's going to call Rule 92 today. Order, honorable members. I will now ask the secretary to read the order of the day.
Debate on vote number 1, the Presidency Appropriation Bill.
Honorable the President. Mr. President, I was worried. I thought, Mr. President, for a while, I thought your iPad has been lost.
No.
Over to you, President.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, and Honorable Members and fellow South Africans. In 2 days from now, which is on Friday, the 18th of July, South Africans, and indeed the world, people will celebrate Nelson Mandela Day. Madiba helped us see that we can achieve a great deal as a nation by staying true to the vision of a better, more equal, as well as a more prosperous South Africa, by working together to achieve a vision that South Africa indeed can be a successful nation if we put our minds to it. Today, the world faces real and significant challenges, and so do we as a country and as a nation. We face an increasingly volatile world with many disruptions to global trade, as well as deepening conflicts that are raging in many parts of the world. We face high levels of unemployment in our own country, as well as low economic growth that has not enabled us to create the number of jobs that we all wished to create. We face the corrosive effects of corruption and pervasive crime to which the poorest amongst us are most vulnerable. We also face the daunting task of building a state that is capable of tackling the challenges of the time and restoring the trust of our people. It is with these challenges in mind that we formed the Government of National Unity to place our country on a more stronger footing, to be able to have economic growth, as well as to foster transformation and to move ahead on the path of peace and prosperity. As we established the government of national unity, we understood that we were embarking on what you could call a new era in our democracy. We understood then that it would be complex and that we would be faced with novel challenges that we would need to navigate. We have together adopted the medium-term development plan, which outlines clear actions that we need to take over the next 5 years in pursuit of the 3 strategic priorities that we have set out for ourselves. Firstly, to drive inclusive growth and job creation. Secondly, to tackle poverty, as well as to address more effectively the high cost of living. And thirdly, to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Across all ministries, all departments, and all national entities that we have, there is a commitment to implement the actions on which we have agreed and to move with urgency and purpose to address the needs of all South Africans. Most importantly, there is a shared understanding that we need to rise above our differences and work together to progress or to make progress on the important challenges that our country faces. The approach of the Government of National Unity is to enhance national cohesion, nation building, and to build partnerships across society to advance the common interests of South Africans. And to seek this whole purpose, we agreed that we would have a national dialogue amongst many other things we would do. And this is being convened in response to the many calls that were made by individuals, leaders, eminent persons, as well as various formations from across society. This initiative has received widespread support and has been endorsed by the Government of National Unity as a process that is significant to develop a social compact that will enable us as South Africans to meet the aspirations of the National Development Plan. At every important moment in the history of our country, we have come together as South Africans to define a shared vision and to forge a path into a future in dialogue with one another. The national dialogue is not just about talking. Like with CODESA, like with the National Peace Accord, like with the consultation process that we all went through as we drafted our new constitution, the national dialogue is expected to produce real results that have a tangible impact on the lives of our people. We are all called upon to use this moment of this national dialogue as an instrument of fostering development, transformation, progress, national cohesion, and national unity as well. This dialogue does not displace the democratic processes that are mandated by our Constitution, nor does it divert us from the electoral mandate that this Parliament was given by the people of South Africa. As the national dialogue process continues, the government will continue to take action to address immediate concerns that all South Africans share, to grow our economy, to create jobs, to tackle corruption and crime, and to fix local government. The medium-term development plan sets specific measurable targets for each of the programs that we need to embark upon as set out in various budget votes. And those budget votes quantify the resources that we will need to reach the targets that will be articulated. However, the true measure of success is the impact that we will have on improving the lives of our people. Everything that this government does, from trade negotiations to economic reforms, from the professionalization of the public service to the support for farmers, for small business, is directed towards meeting the needs of the people of South Africa and securing their future. The role of the presidency in all this is to coordinate the work of government towards this end and to make sure that our commitments and actions are directed at meeting the needs of South Africans. Our most important priority is to grow the economy and to create jobs. We are working across government to boost infrastructure investment, to ensure that infrastructure development does become the true flywheel of economic growth in our country. We are using the infrastructure fund to invest in the roads that link communities, the bridges that connect them, to ensure that their economic interests are advanced. We're using these investments to ensure that water projects that supply expanding cities and our towns do indeed reach our people through the pipes that we lay. We have amended the regulations for public-private partnerships to make it easier for those who have money, that is the private sector, to invest in infrastructure ranging from renewable energy to the generation and to housing, and to encompass all other areas where we need infrastructure. This infrastructure has a direct impact on people's lives, providing the services that they need, reducing the cost of living, as well as improving the business environment, and by so doing, encouraging economic activity in the places where our people live. We're following through on our commitment to invest more than 1 trillion rand, as announced by the Minister of Finance in his budget speech, in infrastructure over the next 3 years to renew our country's roads, port, rail, energy, as well as water systems. South Africans benefit when the economy grows, when jobs are created, when established industries expand and new industries emerge. To ensure that our industrial policy promotes local economic activity, we are repositioning our industrial policy to ensure that we look at opportunities in diversification, in decarbonization, and digitalization as well, as we embark on measures to ensure that the incentives that we provide and enabling initiatives are able to create a conducive environment for businesses to grow. That is why we are redirecting our development finance institutions to be more active investors themselves in emerging industries and introducing tax incentives for new energy vehicles from next year. We are pursuing critical minerals and metal strategy recently approved by Cabinet to ensure that our country's mineral wealth creates jobs and produces value here in South Africa, and particularly in the areas where those minerals are extracted. Our national policy on the commercialization of hemp and cannabis aims to improve the livelihoods of those people who live in rural areas, targeting 10% annual growth in this emerging industry. Communities in our cities and rural areas alike will benefit from rapid growth that we are seeing in tourism. More than 9 million international tourists visited our country in the past year, directly spending over 90 billion rand. This is thanks in large measure to the reforms that we have embarked upon in the visa system, targeted tourism promotion in key markets, and the support that is being given to local companies that are involved in the tourism business. To encourage the growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises, we are continuing the work to remove regulatory constraints and to simplify business licensing. This, whilst is a difficult area to traverse, we are beginning to see progress that is being made. For we have found difficult for regulations that have been made to be changed, to be amended in order to enhance the type of business growth that we seek. But we will get there. We are refining our financing offerings to the businesses in our townships and rural areas, recognizing that different types of businesses have different needs at different stages of their own existence and development. To accelerate economic growth and create jobs, we are moving ahead with the economic reform agenda that we introduced through Operation Vulindlela, with the Presidency providing strong leadership and coordination to ensure that the reforms that we have embarked upon are implemented. In the energy sector, working together with all stakeholders, we've made outstanding progress in reducing the severity as well as the frequency of load shedding. There was a time when daily load shedding was the norm. Now it is the exception. We are putting in place the foundations for a competitive electricity market to unlock massive new investment in energy generation. This will result in lower electricity costs as we move on for all South Africans and more renewable energy to power our economy. We have also made significant progress towards enabling innovative public and private investment in our transmission network. Implementation of the Just Energy Transition continues to progress, coordinated in the way that we will ensure that it does yield the results we want. There are growing projects in the Just Energy Transition, in the pipeline thereof, in various places in municipalities as well. There's also another added benefit that we are getting out of this, the skills development process, as we embark more and more on renewable energy generation. Total international pledges to support our Just Energy Transition now amounts to about 12.8 billion rand, or dollars rather, or around 230 billion rand. This investment will go directly into renewable energy projects where the communities that are affected by the transition will be able to be at the center of the focus that our work will entail. Through this work, South Africa is leading the world in many ways in showing what a truly just energy transition should look like. And through this process, yes, we are learning even from our own mistakes as we move ahead. We are also following through on our reform commitments in the logistics sector. We have continued to make progress in removing our visa system, reforming our visa system to attract skills and grow our tourism. The electronic travel authorization system will be launched later this year. The Department of Home Affairs has made great progress in clearing the visa application backlog, which stood at around 306,000 applications in March of 2024. Now, through these reforms, we are steadily removing the obstacles to growth and paving the way for a new phase of investment and job creation in our economy. The work of Operation Vulindlela shows the importance of a capable presidency at the center of government, fulfilling a coordinating role and working very closely with all departments and agencies responsible for implementing the various initiatives that need to be implemented so as to deliver good services across the state. The greatest challenge that faces our country today is youth unemployment. Approximately 3.8 million out of 10.3 million young South Africans aged 15 to 20 years and currently not in employment, education, or training. These are young people with energy, with initiative, as well as untapped potential. As we pursue faster and more inclusive growth, as government, we have undertaken programs of a large scale to provide opportunities for young people to earn an income, to develop skills, and to gain work experience. Through innovative and targeted interventions, the presidential employment stimulus has continued to demonstrate that when a society invests in its people, particularly in its young people, the dividends are measured in hope, restored, and futures that are rewritten. In June of this year, we began a new phase of the Basic Education Employment Initiative, with over 200,000 young people being brought in to work as school assistants in over 20,000 schools across the country. This initiative has now created opportunities for over 1 million young people to serve as assistants in schools, supporting teachers in classrooms, in school administration, as well as in school maintenance. Having been to a few schools and have seen this in action, one cannot but be impressed with the manner in which our young people have taken up this opportunity. The program has been designed to strengthen the learning environment, which is a great benefit for our schools and learning outcomes as well. But in the process, the participants gain work experience and the skills that are vital to finding employment and to starting their own businesses as they embark on their own life journeys. Young people face many barriers. Without established networks in the economy, without any work experience, without money for things like data and transport, it is difficult for many young people even to look for work. To address these challenges, we also launched the SA Youth Mobi platform in 2020. Since then, it has linked a growing number of young people to learning and earning opportunities. There are now 4.7 million young people who are registered on SA Youth Network. Young people have been supported to access over 1.67 million earning opportunities having emanated from this platform. A significant achievement of South African youth in the vast majority of earning opportunities have been accessed by the most excluded young people. 70% of the opportunities have been accessed by young Black African women. Around 65% of the young people registered on SA Youth Platform reported that they live in households where at least one member receives a grant. This means that we are reaching some of the people who have the greatest needs in our country. With the support of government, the South African Employment Service, which is known as YES, has become the largest corporate-funded youth jobs program in the world. The program has to date provided over 190,000 young people with a year-long work experience opportunity. Through all these programs, coordinated by the Presidency, we are changing the way that government works and scaling innovative solutions to our unemployment challenge. And as it is now, a number of people and countries are thronging to our doors to come and learn precisely how we have structured these programs and how they continue to operate. Honorable members, education is at the center of our fight against poverty. The foundational years are central to a child's progress through their educational journey, and even later on in life. That is why our focus is on expanding access to quality early childhood development and early grade literacy and numeracy as well. Early childhood development and early grade